I have just not had enough time to play the guitar in the last couple of weeks. Now, I'm not complaining. It's been I've had a blast. As some of you may know, you've been following the threads on the forum. So, in any case, it's been a couple of weeks. This is Friday, August 7th. Got it. Whew, that was close. And it's time for the weekly update, except that I have a lot of stuff to go through. It's a bunch of quick announcements. And then I'll tell you a little bit more about my summer vacation. First of all, really enjoyed eavesdropping, voyeurizing into Chris's and the girls' trip, Corina and Vanessa. Sounded like everybody had a blast, and anyway, it was really fun to be, I don't know, just to be able to watch that. Mine was a little bit, well, I guess it was about the same length, but it was a little bit different. I'll get to that a little bit later. First of all, just a bunch of kind of quick announcements. The folks back in the back office want me to bring up that we have we've been putting some of many of my particularly theory and technique lessons on DVDs, and batches kind of come and go, and we've got a few left now of the Virtuoso Bundle. It includes all kinds of stuff, the strumming stuff, the chord solos package, the finger picking package, anyway, it's this 24 disc set, and you can read more about it or order it. We're down to the last, I don't know, I'm not sure how many copies are left, but of the second run there aren't too many. And when these are gone, the price is going back up to what it really costs, like $199. But right now it's $149. So be sure to check totallymusicdvds.com. I'm sure anyway, easy to find if you'd like to have that. We have a few more coming out in the very near future too. So this is going to be more of a happening thing, because we're finally being able to act on something that I know a lot of people don't have great internet connections, and sometimes the streaming doesn't work, so that having the lessons on physical DVDs that you can own forever is a cool thing. So that's one of the things, and let's see, what else? Oh, the quick little thing, we're about a month away from IGC, getting really excited, working on finalizing kind of the schedule of what's going to happen. And want to let you guys know that there a couple spots are still available, and the reason we've unfortunately had one person that had to cancel, and I also found out one or two are going to be more daytime. They're not going to be needing a room. They'd rather stay. They're sort of local enough to be able to come and go each day. So that really opened up at least two, maybe three more spots that I didn't know we had. So not too late to get in at the last minute if you're still thinking about it. Because sometimes it's hard to plan 6 months in advance, like when we were first putting this out. Let's see. Okay, now I guess next I should run through. I should probably play some more first. Okay, new tune for today, maybe, someday. Let's see, where was I? Now I was going to go through some of the cool lessons that we had over the last couple of weeks. There were finally, finished up this one. And I gotta say, Dean, this was a real joy to watch. It's probably the closest thing I've seen to when I'm working with a student. It's like they'll be doing something. I'll say, okay, we'll do it again. Do it again. Let's do it a little slower. Connect these two measures. So that was just great to see the work in progress there, and I hope hope more people jump on that bandwagon, because that was very cool. So, and now that I've finished that song, I can kind of get on to, I try to only have maybe one complicated instrumental going on at a time. So I've got a few others floating around. That's one of them that one of my students has been working on that, and I thought, man, I should do a lesson on that. Great tune. So, just thinking out loud. Okay, let's see. Well, I was in the middle of other stuff. What else? We had little Carly Simon this week, or last week it turns out, Anticipation. We had Bryan Adams, Everything I Do for You. And Willem, that was such a great idea, what you asked about. So I was thinking about just rattling through that on the news, and then I thought, no, you know what? If I did a little bit more, with a little more planning, it would be good to add to the old lesson, because it would make it much easier to find than just than having to rely on our really reliable archive historian. I have to thank Dermot for every time somebody's looking for something, he finds it. It's great. Dermot, really appreciate it. And I know that if in 2 years somebody say, hey, I know that on one of those news things, Neil, explained. Got sticky fingers. Wrong album. Okay, let's see, where was I? Talking about Angie. Yeah, and it just seemed that even though I know Dermot would nail it if in 2 years somebody said, hey, which news did you get a little demonstration on Angie, made more sense to put it back in with the lesson. Now, that lesson was one of the original 50 for our target members. So anybody that's been here since day one anyway, that was one of our first offerings. When we opened the target program in April of 2009, we had 50 songs and like 100 tips and things like that, and you can do the math and figure out how many we've added in the last 6 years. But that was one of them, and it was so I went back to look at it a little bit just to see what I said about it, and I was really surprised that at the end of the break it down segment I said, maybe we'll get to that someday. Yeah, here it is. So I went and found the same shirt so that everybody would think that it was all done at the same time. I don't really still have the same background, but that's okay. I did notice a few little physical changes. Mustache a little grayer nowadays, but anyway, so good little little time capsule lesson now that we have on Angie. So that was really fun, and Willem, it was a great idea. What else did we have? Like I mentioned, well, I guess I haven't mentioned this on the news because this happened the week I was leaving, I think. No, I told you 2 weeks ago, I was expecting a TG member from the UK. It was Chacho Marino, and he's we had a great time, and I put up little three parts of what we did, which was most of what we did. We had a few other little, we went into a little guitar geography at one point, but it was just sort of loosen at the end. So we got to see him working on Dust in the Wind and My Hey. And our Chet Atkins tune, I Still Can't Say Goodbye. So that was a joy. I also just heard, I was talking to Vanessa yesterday, and she's had a couple of TG members drop in and have lessons with her. So that is so cool that if you're, if you're traveling through Europe and want to meet Vanessa and maybe take a guitar lesson from her, don't hesitate to contact her. She's easy to track down. So, and again, I love doing that too. So it's let's see. I think I went through. That's all the business stuff. Oh, the one other thing I noticed on the forum, we had a recent suggestion in the question about the TG build. Well, the builders are now at work. It was all kind of planning stages before, but we got the wheels are turning. So so let's keep that thread kind of live now, and I'll make sure that so if you think of anything else that we need, get on it soon, because we're trying to do everything. Okay, let's see. What else is on? I think I'm done. I can now tell you about my trip, if you want to hear it. So, now some of this is in the AWOL thread, but we just had a great time, and my wife Nani and I were gonna heading out for she's still there. Well, she's coming in late tonight, finishing up her conference that was at Columbia University. And matter of fact, she's on her way to the airport as I'm shooting this right now. But so that was the starting point of the trip and why we did this. And then we decided to tack on our little 4-day vacation for us. And the original plan was to just stay at my friend Carol's apartment in Brooklyn. Hopefully you saw a picture of Manhattan. That's what it looks like right out her window, and see some sights. And we really had a hard time kind of coming up with all the cool sights we wanted to see. And for me, I did want to take the elevator ride to the top of the World Trade Center. I mean, I like looking at the world from, and the first thing, that timeline thing that, I didn't really talk about that, but anybody, you can find out more about this, but basically when you take the elevator ride up to the top, you watch, 500, maybe 600 years of New York history unfold in 60 seconds. It's really cool. And then you end up at the top of the world. And it's worth renting this little iPad kind of thing for it that you can point out and look at. Oh, here is a big tip. If you're thinking of going to the World Trade Center, I was trying to buy tickets in advance and we didn't have something we could print on them, so we decided that let's just go down there and see what happened. We got there about 9 o'clock in the morning, right when it opened, and came up through the inside since we came from the subway, and saw a long line of people out the front door. And I thought, oh man, that's probably a ticket line. I guess we got to go get in that. And I asked a guard, or security guy there. I said, "Is that line to buy tickets?" He said, "Oh no, you can buy tickets right over there at the window where there were two lonely agents." I said, "Oh great." And what they said, those are people that have tickets for a certain time and they can't get in until the time it says on their ticket, so they line up early. So I walk over to the ticket agent and say, "Oh, could we get 2 tickets?" She goes, "Sure. When do you want to go in? Like now?" I said, "Yeah, like now would be good." We bought the tickets and went right over to the elevators, and we're up at the top in like 5 minutes. Go early, and don't necessarily have to buy tickets in advance. Now, when we left, we left about 11:30 or something like that, spent a couple hours up there, and when we left, they were making announcements that, the next tickets available are like 2 o'clock. So if you show up at like 11 without tickets, you're going to go a few hours. Then it would have been better to buy them in advance. Okay, let's see, that was it. That was our Friday morning thing. And then, but on Monday of last week, I told this before, I think, I got a call out of the blue from Muriel Anderson, who was coming into town next week, and for a workshop, August 15th, is that the right date? Yep, August 15th, she'll be doing a workshop here. She's doing all kinds of stuff in Northern California. A show in Livermore, a couple of camps and workshops, a show at Don Quixote's in Felton, and then this thing right around the corner from me at Keith Holland's Guitar Hospital. So if you're around and want to see it, so we were kind of coordinating plans. She needed like some airport rides and some things like that, maybe borrow a car. And at the end of the thing, I just said, hey, are you on vacation like right now? Are you hanging out in Nashville? She goes, oh yeah, I'm on vacation, but I'm out in Long Island with her friend Bryan, sailing every day. And I said, oh, wow, sounds like fun. What a coincidence. We're coming to New York the day after tomorrow. And she said, why don't you come spend a couple days with us? We dropped everything else and said that was, so we spent half the trip out on Long Island at Oak Beach, and it was the highlight of the trip. And luckily, by Sunday morning, we had to get skedaddling, and so I said, hey, you know what? Do you want to just sit down and like have a chat on camera? And she said, sure. She is just so agreeable to anything. It's fabulous. So and it was early. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning when we were out there, I think. And so glad we did that. I hope people have had a chance to watch it. She plays some great tunes on her travel harp guitar. Think about that. Okay, what else happened? Oh, had fabulous pizza in Brooklyn, and also a really cool place called the Keg and Lantern. The pizza place was the Park Luncheonette on, let me think, Lorimer? No, it's on Driggs. Probably is Lorimer. It is. Driggs and Lorimer. Corner of Driggs and Lorimer. We were staying at the corner of Driggs and Leonard, 2 blocks away, well, a block and a half away. And a little Polish neighborhood. Everybody there spoke Polish. Being Polish myself, I felt sort of attached. I had no idea what they were saying. But, oh, maybe you guys didn't know that. Half Irish, half Polish. Hogan is the Irish side. Okay, I think I've rambled on enough about New York. Okay, I think that's it for today. A lot of new lessons coming up next week. Don't pretend you didn't hear that, but got a lot of cool stuff planned. So stay with us, and don't forget, a couple of IGC spots left if you're interested. And last call for the introductory price on the DVD, the Virtuoso Bundle. Okay, see you next week.